Hi, my name's Mark Burgess. I'm the CEO of Iceberg Digital, and I wanted to explain to you in this short video, in a nutshell, what is Lifesycle and why is it so different to any other software that you might have used in a estate agency before. The softwares that exist in a estate agency, specifically the CRMs for estate agents to use, all work on the principle that the starting point is when somebody wants to view a property with you, or when somebody wants to list a property with you. That's the starting point. Before that, any inquiries that you might get through your marketing or through portals or anything at all isn't much use to the estate agent, and so therefore it goes into an archive. So if I inquire about a property to view, you try to contact me a few times, you go through the process that you've set up internally and it doesn't go anywhere, there's nothing to happen with me. There's no process to put me in. I get archived. Even if I was somebody that had a house to sell in your area, you never got to the stage where you found that out, but nevertheless, there will have been people that made inquiries, you never managed to get through to them. There's no reason to have them in the CRM system because it's for transactions, and so therefore they go into the archive. The same with things like your instant valuations that come in, you call them, some answer, some want a valuation, most don't. There's nowhere to put them, so they just go in an archive. The same with your Google leads and Facebook leads and all of that stuff that isn't ready to actually do a transaction right now doesn't form part of what the CRMs are built for in a estate agency. With Lifecycle, we're the world's only system for estate agents that combines a CRM and a marketing platform. So if you look at marketing platforms specifically, things like HubSpot, they work on the basis of nurturing all of the people inside your system that are marketing qualified leads. What do I mean by marketing qualified lead? I mean someone who's given you their details. They don't have to be ready to do a transaction, but in some way or another, they've given you their name, they've given you their email address, they're ready to receive marketing from you until such point as they choose to unsubscribe. So all of those people should be getting something from your business on a regular basis to keep them engaged with the brand. Just because I inquired about selling my property and it never went ahead at this point in time, it doesn't mean it's never going to happen. It must have been some form of interest in my mind to do that. I didn't just do it for a laugh. It wasn't like I sat there and thought, oh, should we go to Thorpe Park today or should we get some estate agents around the house? Like, there will have been a reason at the back of my mind that I'm thinking about selling at some point. All those registrations that we're looking to go out viewing that said they've got a house to sell. It's going to happen at some point, or at least there's a probability of it happening. Those people, as I say, they're marketing qualified leads. They should be sitting inside the system, receiving content, being nurtured. Anything we know about them might put something a little bit more specific in front of them by email or on social media, just to keep them a little bit more engaged with our brand. And then at some point, they become a sales qualified lead. They take an action, like they instruct you, or they put an offer in on a house, or they even do a viewing, something that would move them into what you would class as the normal CRM. And Lifecycle already has that covered as well. So you're always nurturing everybody that comes in contact with your business. No more archive, doesn't exist. No one's archived unless they're dead. Everybody's getting nurtured. When they take an action that would normally mean you would put them in your CRM, they just move across into this sales qualified lead and you continue working on them in Lifecycle. They may end up going back to being a marketing qualified lead. They might not go any further. They might take their house off the market. Again, you need to stay in contact with these people. You need to nurture these people. And Lifecycle on top of that now also has a business software to keep you on top of your tasks. So there are complete systems out there whereby all they do is allow you to stay on top of your tasks with your team. I'm not talking about making a to-do list. I'm talking about specifically being able to see what your team have done, who's doing what they're in the process of doing, what they're going to be working on next week, how efficient they are, who's working on what, tying all those tasks back to the people in your database. So if John's got a task to call Mr. Smith and Susie's also got a task to call Mr. Smith, you can see both of those on Mr. Smith's profile. When one of them calls, they can probably just complete both tasks. So all of this is happening inside Lifecycle, on top of the fact that It's working in a more autonomous way for your company to improve efficiency. So you can let people register themselves into your database. It'll automatically chase up for viewing feedback. It automatically nurture your market appraisals. It'll automatically track all of the thousands of people in your database when they're on your website or your Facebook or your LinkedIn or your Twitter or looking at your emails, and bubble the important information to the top for you. So it's constantly mining the database, looking for your next instruction or your next sale. This doesn't take away the human element of estate agency. Some people get that confused with, oh, but we like to speak to people. That's perfectly fine. That's what the system's there for, is to show you the important people for you to actually step in and speak to, so that you don't get lost, unable to see the wood for the trees by just calling everybody in the database, having 100 voicemails in one day, as opposed to getting through to the 10 important people that all had houses to sell and were on your website yesterday. So I hope that gives you some understanding as to what Lifecycle actually is, why it's different to these other systems. How do you learn to work that way? We have so much support around the system. We have online training guides that people can do, whereby you can log on and become certified as a Lifecycle user. We have 5 Zoom training sessions every week, live ones, whereby the team can log on as many times as they want. You can make it part of your onboarding process. There should never be a situation where it's like, oh, I don't really feel like I know what I'm doing. You can just do the training sessions again. It's not a problem. We have one-to-one coaching through an innovation and growth program with elite performance coaches who have been estate agents before, high-performing agents that will work with you one-to-one over a period of 6 months to make sure that everything in your system is running all on 100% full power as you start to get your head around some of the amazing things that Lifecycle can do. We have a WhatsApp group of agents that all share information outside of what Lifecycle does. At the moment, they're all in there talking about how their Google ads are running and sharing artwork from Canva and talking about little hints and tips. So there's a whole network that you can immerse yourself into when you join Lifecycle. It's not a case of, here, take this software and good luck. We'll make sure that you get the results. You just have to be willing to come on the journey.